Welcome to episode 12 of the Sportscast podcast. This week, Jordan fills us in from the weekend at Monza. James goes over the Premier League's results from the weekend and a little bit of the transfer window. And I round up the US Open and England's series win over Sri Lanka. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we? Jordan, you good?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. How are you getting on, Liam? You all right?
Yeah, very well. Yourself?
Mustn't grumble. Where do you want to start this week? Do you want to start with F1?
I think we can get the F1 out of the way because there's a lot of football to get through in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of football to get through. Yeah, we've had the transfer season finish and weekend's results. So I think we'll go with the F1 first, shall we?
Yeah. Pretty exciting race. Monza, Italy Grand Prix. It had the track recently resurfaced, completely resurfaced, and they've made major upgrades to the track in a bid to stay on the calendar. Fun fact for you is Monza is the only track since the birth of Formula One that has been on the calendar every single year, with the exception of one when it was closed for repairs and they went to Imola. But Italy, as a country, has been on every single calendar since the beginning of Formula One.
That is an incredible stat. And with everything they've done with the track this year, do you think it improved the track or...
Yes, I think so. To be quite honest with you, I am a fan of gravel traps over sausage curbs every day of the year. I think sausage curbs are dangerous to the sport. But I think they need to make the gravel traps deeper and wider. There was multiple instances, especially on the first corner, where they've got the runoff area absolutely bang on. Like George Russell into the first corner, he locked up. Nearly ended up in the back of Piastri, but he ended up having to slalom through 4 chicanes, and that actually made sure that he did not have an advantage from leaving the track. But some of the gravel traps I thought were weak. They could probably make them a little bit wider, a little bit deeper, just to penalise drivers just that little bit more for getting a bit overzealous and throwing it down the inside a little bit.
Just for perspective of James, they changed it all, and on Thursday when they were doing some, I guess just free running really, because it wasn't the practice on the Thursday, was it?
No, are you talking about the safety car?
Yeah,
it was just so every on the Thursday it's when Formula One's kind of arrives. They arrive Tuesday, Wednesday, but actually on Thursday is the first time we get to see cars on track. And it is literally just 1 or 2 pacing laps, and then you also get FIA vehicles, including the safety car, on track, just to do checks, make sure all the curbs are all correct, and there's no loose manhole covers, for example.
Yeah, they've done well with that.
Yeah.
And then obviously seeing Burt Mylander dip the safety car into thing. Now, one thing I have seen is that his brakes went and he actually intentionally spun the vehicle to slow it down.
Yeah, what's it called? Something like I can't remember the term. It's got a special term. Scandinavian flick is the name of the term. I've just remembered. It basically when you need to flick the car round to slow it down as much as possible, rather than going headlong into a barrier like head first. You're better slowing the vehicle down, and in a normal commercial car, I mean, it is an Aston Martin DB9, but essentially it is a road car. You are better slowing the vehicle down by doing a power slide sideways and then through the gravel, rather than applying the brakes and nothing happens. So yeah, obviously he's a professional racing driver, and that was what he opted to do.
How did you find the race?
I really enjoyed it. Obviously, Lando and Piastri, P1, P2, Max down in 7th, I think it was, started the race. A lot of talk about points, a lot of talk about who's going to be up top kind of at the end of the season, who's going to win the championship, a lot of sort of talk about points and blah, blah, blah. But actually, Ferrari pulled off an absolute blinder one-stop strategy. From lap 15 as well, Charles Leclerc had his tyres on, and he drove them all the way through into the end and won his I'd say his team's home Grand Prix. No, his team's home Grand Prix.
It is. Yeah, it is. I thought it was good. I thought when Science came on the radio saying that these guys are crazy thinking they can go till the end, and then they did it themselves.
100%. And I actually don't believe it was an intentional strategy initially. I think once they realised how little, specifically on the Ferrari, the hards were degrading, they just kept it on. But they always set up in Monza for high straight line speed, which they did have.
Yeah.
But another fun fact for you is Charles Leclerc has a 100% record this season for tracks beginning with MON.
This is ridiculous.
Bunch of straws.
Monaco, obviously, well, it's a perfect season for him, really, other than being like...
Well, he's won his home race and his team's home race.
Correct. He won the Monaco Grand Prix, which is his nationality, and the Monza Grand Prix, which is the Ferrari, which is great. And to be honest, I even, like, same with Lewis Hamilton winning the Silverstone Grand Prix, I was hoping Piastri would catch him. I was hoping Lando would do something more than third. And to be fair, it was an absolutely cracking overtake into the chicanes to overtake Lando on lap 1. But I was hoping McLaren would do more. But overall, really pleased with the Ferrari win.
50-something points separating them now. A couple of 1-7s again.
Yeah, you see, I'm not entirely sure about the Drivers' Championship. I think it's 51 points. But the Constructors' Championship, there are 61 points separating the top three. So you've got Red Bull, obviously in first at the moment, not scoring great today. Ferrari with pretty much maximum points, and then McLaren with pretty much maximum points that they could get out of that, barring the one-stop strategy, and then Ferrari have pulled a decent little number out of the bag today as well.
Where's the next race?
The next race is in Azerbaijan, which is actually Sergio Perez's favourite and most successful track. So we'll see what he does on the 15th of September, 2 weeks' time.
One of my favourites as well. So, James, football. Should we start with the big lunchtime kickoff yesterday?
We'll leave that one.
What, Blackburn Burnley?
No, it was. Yeah, it was a bit of a. I kind of had a feeling that was going to be a little banana skin of a game, but I can't. I know the laws are the laws in regards to what Declan Rice was sent off, but I thought that was very harsh. He didn't even see the player behind him, and he's gone out and he's kicked in.
What he did.
I mean, Brighton done it a couple of times in the first half. Their player launched it 100 yards into the crowd. So I get why they're doing it, to speed the game up, to stop unnecessary time wasting and things like that. But yeah, it was a tough shame because we're going to miss him now for the Tottenham game and game. But a point's a point. You can't do that, But Man City with their good win away to West Ham, that's helped them just storm out. But I think the game of the day for me yesterday was the Everton-Bournemouth game. Did you see?
Definitely. Yeah.
2-0 up on 87 minutes and then losing 3-2. That's got to be Sean Dyche done now, surely. What do you reckon?
I think he's got the players. That's the problem.
From the snippets I've seen, I don't actually think he's kind of. He's very blasé kind of thing. In a recent interview, he says like that you've got empty bums. Sorry, you've got no bums on seats. You've got an empty stadium. He's like, well, yeah, because we're playing shit. What do you expect?
That's the problem. Last week when they lost to Brighton, we had fans waiting at the train station to jeer him onto train.
Yeah, I know. I saw that actually. Yeah, I did see that. And then a couple of the players reacted, which. Of a professional footballing level, top tier. I know Everton obviously not having a great thing, but they are still in the Premier League, which is the top of football. you should know better not to react. But it's clearly getting to some of the players who have a passion, who want to win. But a lot of these players are on like 7-year deals worth millions, and some of them just want to sit there and rake in the cash, and who gives a toss if they win or lose?
That's a big Chelsea problem as well, who this evening have announced Jack contract extension.
That's not just it's throughout all the clubs, you know.
Yeah.
But no, there was some good results yesterday as well. The old Villa Leicester over that way as well. Another 3 points for Aston Villa. Good game for them. And down to the Championship, still on the winning start for good old Norwich. Nice 1-0 win away at Coventry. Leeds with a nice 2-0 win as well. So, and old Waz's team lost 1-0 to Stoke yesterday. So there's been some games. Another win for Wrexham.
It's been going strong.
Yeah, that done me a bit because all I needed was Peterborough United to score a goal and I would have been 180 quid in. So I'm a bit frustrated with that as well. But I think it was another win for your local boys as well, weren't they, yesterday?
Yeah. Away at Port Vale.
They're really flying at the minute. Doncaster, aren't they?
Yeah, they really, really are.
They were like unlucky to miss out. Anyway, they went on like the 15-game win streak and then lost in the playoffs, which was disappointing. But they've come back reasonably strong. I think out of 4 games, won 3, lost 1, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll they should go up this year purely based on just what they've got. You know, they've got too much firepower up top in Luke Molyneux and Billy Sharp, and you know they've got a decent squad, so they should take nothing away from Grant McCann. Like they should be going up with their eyes closed.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think they're doing really well, but
I tell you who's not had a great start to the season, a league that we don't necessarily talk about as much, but Real Madrid have had a dreadful start to the season. They've drawn 2 draws and a win. A draw against Mallorca, a draw against Las Palmas, which is not great. Barcelona have taken 4 wins from 4.
I saw a clip from last night's game, Real Madrid.
No, Real Madrid are playing tonight.
Oh, it was midweek then, and you had Mbappe and Vinicius Juniors, and neither of them could do anything. Every time they got into the area, they just kept falling over. There's about 6-7 clips where they each fell over. Just couldn't.
I think it's a case of right players kind of can't gel, or
it's early days as well.
Yeah, it is early days.
They are very similar players as well, and they're kind of. I don't think they're going to gel very well at all. I think they've both got massive egos on them, and I think they're going to come to lock horns over that as well. And I don't think it's going to work.
Well, what will be good is first game of the Champions League for Liverpool is Real Madrid. So the Champions League draw was this week, and it's the new format. Do you guys know about it?
Not a clue.
I know. Well, I know about it, but ask me to explain it. No idea.
Right. So what they do is you now have 32 teams in a league, and you play 8 games now instead of 6, but you play 8 different teams, well, home and away. So you don't play them home and then away. You either play home or away against 8 teams. And what it's to do is to create more uncertainty around what just you're doing. So, the top 24 go through, but it doesn't just rely on your game. So it's a little bit unfair. What they do is they create loads of pots. So they put the top 8 seeded teams in pots, then the next 8 seeded teams in pots, and so on. And then you draw against 2 teams from each of them pots. So I think the pick of the games really is Arsenal, probably their sort of top games, PSG. Aston Villa have got Bayern Munich and Juventus. Celtic have got Leipzig and Dortmund and Villa, to be fair. I think Liverpool have probably got one of the hardest with Real Madrid, Leipzig, AC Milan, and in Man City have got Inter Milan, PSG and Juve. So I think you'll see more.
I quite like it because there was always that thing, wasn't there, where you'd have your Man City and then you'll have young boys, Salzburg,
yeah,
and you can predict the winner of those beforehand. Whereas this,
it
could now be anyone. So,
and the thing is as well, you've got the games where you're going into the final game and nothing can change. The fall's already set. No one else can go through. But you're not going to have that now because there's so many teams and so many teams below you that you're fighting for it all the way through. So we'll see. And another stat as well from the weekend with, like you say, James, Erling Haaland scoring successive hat tricks. There's a thing.
have you done them all that start with MON?
All his hat tricks have been on days that end in Y as well.
Unbelievable.
Is it not 8 hat tricks or something now?
So he's got 8 hat tricks, which it ties in with Thierry Henry, Harry Kane, and Michael Owen. Just for Thierry Henry took 258 games. Michael Owen took 326 games for these 8 hat tricks. Erling Haaland has taken 69 games.
I think what was the record? It's like 14 or something.
12 is Sergio Aguero.
Sergio Aguero, that's it.
In 275 games.
Yes.
But
does that not speak to the attacking football or the way that Man City play?
I think, but also Alan Shearer took 124 games to get to 100 goals. He's currently got 70 and 69.
Haaland is just not human, is he? He's just unbelievable. I mean, he's doing wonders for my dream team, but he's just a different level of. I don't even think there is anyone else close to him at the minute.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Dead quick. How do you feel the transfer window went for you?
The big one. Oh, sorry. Go on, James. You talk about your team.
Sorry, no, go for it.
Well, the big one for me is Ivan Toney. To Saudi.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I do get it. Cash.
Yeah, but he said 6 months ago that if he ever left Brentford, it'd have to be for the right team. And he's a Liverpool fan. He loves Arsenal. They'd be the teams. And then suddenly he goes to Saudi Arabia for 400 grand a week or whatever.
Yeah, I understand. Like young cash, get the cash, like play till you're 30 and retire for the rest of your life. But it just depends what you want to do. If you want to play in a team that you love, then you stay in England. If you don't, then you go.
That's where I think Arsenal's best signing of the summer come from, being Raheem Sterling. Turned down big money move to Saudi, and for some reason gone to Arsenal, who were paying a third of his wages.
I can't work that out. I can't see why. I can see why Sterling wants to go to Arsenal, because Arsenal are a great club. I can't understand why Arsenal would want Sterling.
I don't. With Martinelli, with Saka, he's not bringing anything different. He's the same as Jesus if you play him up.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, though, it is a brilliant bit of business. They're paying £100,000 of his wages a week, and Chelsea are paying $220,000 of it. They're still paying over 200 grand a week for a player that doesn't even play for them. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and definitely going to leave next year, probably.
Without doubt, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up in Saudi next year, because he's fallen out of favour with most people. But I see Kurt Zuma as well. He's gone over to Saudi on a loan deal, and Jadon Sancho's gone to do Chelsea, hasn't he? So,
yeah.
Again, why Chelsea continue to buy players, just constantly buying them, I don't know.
It's ridiculous. I think the signing of the window for me in terms of value for money has got to be Blackburn's bit of business with Rangers in signing Todd Cantwell, former Norwich City playmaker.
Yeah.
He was being touted at Norwich by Villa, and we were talking, we're not going to let him go unless it's for 50 million. And then we've picked him up, rumoured to be in the region between 250 and 500,000 in two years later.
Yeah.
That's like the equivalent of being a Tesla.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll sing that in the terraces.
For 45 grand new, you can pick them up for a pack of Jelly Babies.
Yeah, that is the equivalent of that. But it's it's just a little bit fun.
Losing Rangers isn't a bad thing. They got smashed tonight by Celtic.
Oh, yeah, I think for Rangers winning the league a couple of years ago, they sure as hell have fallen off since then.
Yeah. Did you catch any of the other games today?
No, I watched a bit of that one. Obviously, Man United got done 3-0 by Liverpool. Is that the end for Ten Hag? He really hasn't.
I think if he doesn't win the game after the international break, I think he'll be out.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't seem to ever sort of do it against the top teams.
No. Well, he doesn't seem to do them against the lower teams either.
Well, no, that's so true. Yeah.
I did watch the Newcastle Tottenham game. That was a good game. I think that was a deserved win for Newcastle.
Eddie Howe said that it's good to see them winning when they're not playing as well, which is, it's what you need to do with top clubs. So.
Yeah. I think the biggest upset today is my local team, good old Great Yarmouth Town. They're already out of the FA Cup. They lost in the first round qualifying.
To who?
They lost to a team called Cheshunt, which is a place in Hertfordshire.
See, now, I actually saw a different result yesterday that was even closer to you. And I don't even know if you know that you have a team or not, but Galston beat Wamster 1-0 in the FA Cup qualifying.
Yeah. The Galston Greens, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I was younger, I used to play for them, It was
Jesus, they were desperate back then because you was
desperate.
I wander down to the bookies in the morning and put a couple of quid on Galston to win the FA Cup?
I think they might laugh you out the door.
Yeah, possibly.
They will take my money. You know what bookies are like.
Take your money and shake your hand and say thank you.
5-1.
Yeah, that is what they're like at the minute. Just to finish up, two little bits. Djokovic and Alcaraz out in the third and second round of the US Open, which is two quite big losses. Yeah. And in the cricket, England beat Sri Lanka with Joe Root overtaking Alistair Cook's centuries for England with 34. So he's got the outright lead now. He's not got him on the run side. Alistair Cook's got more runs, but Joe Root making himself the greatest batsman for England, arguably. So, but yeah, beat Sri Lanka by 190 runs today, so lead the series 2-0. So they've won the series as well.
Easy. Have you seen any of the Paralympics?
I've caught nothing.
No. I watched.
Jordan?
No, not really. I've caught highlights and bits and bobs. I know there's been a world record in one of the swimmings. There's actually been quite a few world records broke this time around. So could be good to catch up on some snippets like that. But no, I've not caught loads.
I was watching a bit of it's called sit down volleyball, and there's a guy for the Iranian team, I think it was. He is the second tallest person in the world. He's measured just over 8 foot.
And he's playing sit-down
volleyball. Yeah, and you ought to see the bloody size. He sit down and he's still cut. I mean, obviously the volleyball net isn't where it normally is. It's
it's a lot lower.
Still just absolutely towers over it.
He could be one of the taller people on a volleyball team then, sat down.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
You think 10 feet tall, that is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll have a Google of that a bit later on.
Yeah, have a little bit of that.
Well, we've got international break this week, so there's not going to be an awful lot of football. But hopefully there's enough going on that keeps us entertained. You've got France, Italy on Friday night, Wales, Turkey on Friday. I don't know who England are playing. In all honesty,
They play Ireland.
They play Ireland on Saturday.
And Finland.
Yeah. So
yeah.
There's been the team sheet's been announced. Well, not team sheet, but who the new manager is.
Yeah.
And it's there's a few curveballs in there, but I think everybody, I know you two guys obviously Welsh supporting Wales, but even you and everybody else in the country could see obviously the everybody was screaming the same thing at the telly about Gordon and Palmer and Foden over some of the other older statesmen, if you like, that weren't really doing a lot. Okay. And it would be interesting to see, especially when we're playing, no disrespect to Ireland and Finland, but lower ranked teams. We thought Slovakia and Slovenia and Denmark were lower ranked teams, and we didn't do very well against them. So it'll be interesting to see how the new manager kicks off his tenure.
Well, he is only
he's
interim.
caretaker.
And what's interesting is he's actually odds-on favourite to Lee Carsley. He was a bang average footballer. He's odds-on favourite to be the manager full-time, and second favourite is Pep Guardiola. So it's going to be the only time you could ever put any job out there in the world that Lee Carsley and Pep Guardiola are favourites to take.
Wow.
Pep Guardiola is not going to take the England manager's job.
I'll be honest, James. I've got a different view to you on that.
Pep Guardiola has had such a privileged career at always managing the top teams in that certain division and being given a load of money. Why would he then come to a middle-ranked-ish international team?
They're not. That's the thing, James.
Well,
they were ranked. They were seeded highest for the Euros, and if anyone's going to get the best out of them players, it's the man that managers are for them.
As I say, we've been to like 3 finals in the last 3 tournaments.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
So I think he just might take it and surprise people. He wants an international job next. Got a year left on his contract.
Well,
I'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah. We'll catch up next week.
Okay. See you later. Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Sportscast podcast. As normal, you'll get us on our social media, Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, at SportscastPod UK. Join us again next week.